New Jersey Transit Rail Operations, Inc., New Jersey Transit Bus Operations, Inc., New Jersey Transit Mercer, Inc., and New Jersey Transit Morris, Inc.
Good morning, Chair Gutierrez, Scacchetti, and board members. I will now take roll call. Board Member Adams?
Yes.
Board Member Ajmani?
Yes.
Board Member Doshi?
Yes.
Board Member Fulton?
Yes.
Board Member Gordon?
Here.
Board Member Greaves?
Here.
Board Member Marocco?
Here.
Board Member Rasmussen?
Here.
Board Member Wilton?
Here.
Thank you. Chair Gutierrez, Scacchetti?
Here.
Thank you. Next is the open public meetings notice. Adequate notice of today's of the New Jersey Transit Corporation, New Jersey Transit Rail Operations, New Jersey Transit Bus Operations, New Jersey Transit Mercer, and New Jersey Transit Morris has been provided in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act and Public Law 2018, Chapter 162. The meetings will occur concurrently. Notices were filed on April 1st, 2020 with the Secretary of State. These notices were sent to newspapers of general distribution, posted in the main entrance of New Jersey Transit headquarters, published on the corporation's website, and sent each individual agency and organization that requested such notice. The meetings are viewable on the corporation's website in real time and will be recorded, archived, and made available to the public. Minutes will also be archived and published on the website. Next is the approval of minutes.
May I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the March 11th, 2020 board meetings?
This is Board Member Bolton. I'll move the motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on the minutes? Joyce, please take roll call.
Roll call vote. Board Member Adams?
Yes.
Board Member Ajmani?
Yes.
Board Member Doshi?
Yes.
Board Member Fulton?
Yes.
Board Member Marocco?
Yes.
Board Member Wilton?
Yes.
Chair Gutierrez, Scacchetti?
Yes.
Motion carried.
At this time, President and CEO Corbett will present the President's and CEO's monthly report.
Thank you, Diane and Joyce. Good morning, and certainly a member of the board, and to all the members of the public joining us online. Certainly, from when we started our the COVID task force here on February 6th, little did we realize that what an online board meeting would be like. But appreciate everyone adapting to the circumstances. To begin with, I certainly want to express my deep gratitude and the pride, the dedication of our employees at New Jersey Transit. Certainly under some of the most challenging conditions any of us have seen. Today, in the midst of this COVID-19 pandemic, I could not be more proud of the way our workforce has come together and continues to deliver for those who still depend on us for essential travel. I truly believe there's no better example nationally of how a transit system should respond to such an event. Certainly make no mistake, it takes nearly all of our 12,000 employees, whether working remotely in the office or on the front lines, to keep this system moving. From the capital program staff who are keeping critical construction projects moving, to our positive train control project team who are working to ensure this critical safety enhancement remains on schedule for full implementation by the end of the year, and to those throughout the organization who continue to work hard to keep our agency running during the health crisis, including IT, HR, procurement, planning, finance, and safety. They all play a role, but particularly I'd like to give a special shout out to our employees who are unable to work remotely, employees on the front lines with our customers who still rely on mass transit. All our operating divisions, bus, rail, light rail, and access link. Our bus and light rail operators, conductors, locomotive engineers, our New Jersey Transit Police Department officers, customer service staff, and ticket agents, and those working behind the scenes, but equally important, our maintenance personnel, dispatchers, cleaners, building services and janitorial staff, track, signal, and infrastructure personnel, communications, community affairs, and service planning staff. I'm sure I've missed a few on that list, but the sentiment is certainly no less heartfelt. Our employees are continuing to move essential employees every day, such as hospital workers, first responders, and others who are literally working to save lives. By extension, New Jersey Transit employees are also helping to save those lives and performing a vital public service. I'm very proud of the way our organization has responded during this unprecedented health emergency, and I know from talking to our customers that I regularly commute with, those Essentials employees who really need our services are genuinely grateful to, and they appreciate everything we're doing. Many of them have commented that it really is part of one of the few things that seem normal in their lives these days. So again, a great appreciation for all the work everyone in New Jersey Transit has been doing. I think obviously we're aware of the reduced service, and we cannot stress enough that urge the public to limit the use of our transit system for essential travel only. To that end, and amidst approximately 90% drop in riding, we've reduced almost all our rail service to a modified President's Day schedule. We have also adjusted our weekday bus service to a special schedule to accommodate essential travel, and all three of our light rail lines are operating on weekend schedules. I want to assure everyone New Jersey Transit is providing all the service it possibly can in the midst of this global pandemic. Our workforce is subject to the same COVID-19 related impacts as every other organization in the world, and with each passing day, those impacts only increase. While we've been able to strategically target select trips on some bus routes with added service, like transit agencies across the country, we simply don't have the manpower to add more service. Our mission, in line with Governor Murphy's directive, is to urge New Jersey residents to stay home unless they are essential personnel, to using mass transit for essential purposes only. That's the only way to flatten the curve. If you absolutely must travel, we urge those still riding for essential purposes to wear a face covering per the new CDC recommendations. It's an additional voluntary public health measure that the CDC says can slow the spread of the virus. I strongly encourage you to download our mobile app, to customize push notifications, to be advised of changes or impacts to your commute, and to make your ticket purchases to eliminate the need to interact with additional customer touchpoints. You should also follow your individual line account on Twitter to receive service information on your rail line, light line, or bus route. The information on COVID-19 has been evolving rapidly and could impact service levels on short notice. I recommend that you visit njtransit.com/COVID-19 for the latest information on how we are working to protect the health and safety of our customers and employees, and covid19.nj.gov for the latest information from the state of New Jersey. Also like to touch on what we're doing for our customers. We have been taking extraordinary measures to provide a safe and clean transit system. We have taken proactive measures that often exceed federal and state guidelines to enhance cleaning and disinfecting vehicles, stations, terminal, and employee work areas. We are continuing to take these measures while maintaining the necessary services that essential personnel rely on every day. We have enhanced cleaning procedures system-wide to include disinfection regimens aboard vehicles every 24 hours and at major stations and terminal on every shift throughout the day. Our enhanced station cleaning regimen includes additional disinfecting of frequent customer touch points such as ticket vending machine, handrails, door handles, and other common areas and hard surfaces. We also have been using the service of an external environmental response contractor to augment, if and when needed, an enhanced cleaning and disinfection regimens at employee work locations, stations, facilities throughout our service network. Some additional steps we're taking to protect employees and the riding public, as we keep on focusing on this, is added precautionary measures we have implemented include on our bus routes for bus operators and customers. We have, as I think many of you know, we have implemented rear door boarding on all bus routes where available. We also regularly provide PPE, personal protective equipment, to our frontline employees. Like many other areas and other agencies throughout the country, New Jersey Transit is competing for these precious PPE resources with the healthcare industry, which has been given priority, and understandably so. In addition to leveraging all of our existing vendor resources, we have also submitted resource requests with the State Office of Emergency Management for PPE. We have been added to their list, and our requests will be prioritized and fulfilled as resources become available. In the meantime, we are receiving masks, including a vendor identified by our union leadership, indicative of the collaborative relationship we've had with our unions. This delivery will supplement masks we received last week, which we've already begun to distribute. New Jersey Transit's position of allowing employees to wear masks on the job during this time is meant to enhance public safety by slowing the spread. And recognize that it's also a responsibility to feel as comfortable as possible during this challenging time. We have a sufficient amount of gloves which are being distributed as needed, as we await other deliveries. Bottom line is we are continually ordering PPE and distributing them to our frontline employees. Also, every NJ Transit employee who can work from home is working from home. We strongly encourage employees and contractors to conduct all meetings via conference call or video conferencing. We'll continue to take whatever precautions are necessary to protect the health and safety of our customers and our employees. I think I'd like to also touch on one thing that could be easily overlooked is a major reason we've been able to respond so effectively to this crisis is a direct result of the extraordinary progress we've made over the past 2 years. It's difficult to imagine, frankly, how this organization I walked into some 2 years ago would have handled this crisis. It simply would not have been prepared to the extent we are today. Over the past 2 years, New Jersey Transit has hired more than 2,000 union and non-union employees. All these new employees have significantly deepened our bench, allowing us to continue to deliver vital services for essential personnel during this crisis. When it comes to our frontline employees, as you know, we've graduated more than 700 new bus operators and hired more than 300 locomotive engineers and conductors since January 2018. Obviously, this greatly enhances our ability to provide the service we're providing today. Our significant investment in technology is also paying off. By moving many of our applications to the cloud, we have critical redundancies built in that we did not have 2 years ago. We've modernized IT systems throughout our organization to automated key processes and human resources, legal, and procurement, amongst other departments. This means we are responding faster on the back end to new and quickly changing employee and customer needs. Externally, through our upgraded mobile app, website, and new push notifications, those essential employees still riding with us have all the information they need about our service, no matter where they are or when they need it. These are just a few examples of the many ways our work over the past few years has prepared us for this moment. New Jersey Transit preparedness has also been significantly enhanced by our involvement with TEACS training program, which stands for the Texas A&M Engineering Extension Service. Led by New Jersey Transit Police Department's Office of Emergency Management, TEACS training has been provided to hundreds of New Jersey Transit employees over the last several years. It's a week-long training program that prepares New Jersey Transit staff for handling major planned and unplanned events and emergencies using the National Incident Management System. The acronym is commonly known as NIMS. This program is funded by federal Homeland Security grants and is considered to be the best emergency and incident management training in the country. This training has allowed us to quickly pivot to our emergency response protocols early on. This included the launch of our coronavirus task force on February 6th, the activation of our comprehensive emergency management plan, or CEMP, as it's commonly known as, and operating in an incident command structure, ICS, to clearly define organizational roles to optimize our response. I'd now like to focus on the financial side about the stimulus package to ensure we have the resources we need when the pandemic is behind us and the ridership service begins to ramp back up towards full service. Governor Murphy and New Jersey's congressional delegation are supporting NJ Transit as we confront the crisis head on. Earlier this month, I wrote to Senator Menendez and Booker and members of the New Jersey congressional delegation to urgently request significant but critically necessary federal assistance in the amount of $1.25 billion. This federal assistance will help offset the long-term financial impact of COVID-19, which includes but is not limited to the dramatic New Jersey Transit revenue losses and COVID-19 related expenses, such as the extensive and costly system-wide cleaning enhancements. It is important to note that this amount does not include potential impacts in New Jersey Transit revenues received from state funding. That would be coming through separately through the Department of Treasury, the governor's office. Today, I'm pleased to report that our congressional delegation has come through for us in a big way to meet this request. Late last month, Congress passed a $2 trillion stimulus package, sending more than $1 billion to New Jersey Transit. We are extremely grateful to Governor Murphy for his unwavering support, and Senator Menendez and Booker and the entire New Jersey congressional delegation for securing these desperately needed funds. I'd also like to thank our colleagues at the FRA and the FTA for their continued support, assistance, and guidance in a true partnership with New Jersey Transit. We must provide the essential public transportation services, and our agency must be on sound footing and ready to provide that service when the current coronavirus emergency subsides and New Jersey's travel and transportation needs start returning to normal. We cannot overcome on our own this unprecedented financial burden that this national emergency has created. Like many other challenges that we have faced down in tough times, such as 9/11 or Superstorm Sandy, I have no doubt we will come out of this on the other end stronger than ever. Despite the attention and resources required to combat COVID-19, we will not stop pushing this organization forward on other fronts. We can both effectively respond to the crisis and still advance key initiatives and projects at the same time. For example, we're working hard to ensure that critical capital projects continue to advance. Important projects at various facilities, such as replacement of 4 rooftop HVAC systems at 4 bus garages, the flood mitigation projects at our Rail Meadowlands Maintenance Complex, large capital projects also advancing, such as Elizabeth Station, New Brunswick Station improvements and elevator rehab, and the Hoboken-Henderson substation. We have been working closely with the FTA to ensure not only our largest capital project, but a project of national significance, Portal North Bridge, moves as quickly as possible towards the full funding grant agreement. We continue to advance our 10-year strategic plan and 5-year capital plan. We are maintaining critical training schedule for our locomotive engineer training program and assistant conductor training programs by transitioning in-classroom training to a distance learning format, and we will be equipping trainees with employee-issued laptops. We are taking advantage of the reduced rail traffic to run more tests for our federally mandated positive train control project. And the bottom line is we are allocating more resources to PCC during this time. The Federal Railway Administration is also willing to provide more resources, and we're counting on Parsons and Alstom, our PTC contractors, to step up as well. I'd now like to turn the floor over to Parsons and Alstom to update the board with the status on the PTC project. They'll talk about how they'll ensure the project remains for full implementation December 31st. And I think Bill Kroll, since I'm not literally on the floor, I think, Bill, we have to do this electronically. I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Good morning, and I'll walk you quickly through. My name is Bill Kroll, as President Corbett just said. I'll walk you quickly through the status of the Positive Train Control ACES 2 project that we're running with New Jersey Transit. I'll start with the things that are still very solid. That includes the back office, the dispatch system, where the Hoboken division has been completely cut over, and the Newark division we only have remaining to cut over Conrail, the Hudson line, and the Atlantic City line. So that's well within the needs of the overall project. The wayside is coming along well. Also, we have either fully tested or ongoing testing in the Morristown lines, the Montclair-Bouton line, the Raritan Valley, the Gladstone and the Bergen lines, and we expect to be fully complete with all of the wayside testing not later than August of this year. On the communication side, we have fully tested all the wayside radios. We have substantially completed all the testing on the onboard radios, and we are, as we see minor communications things in the field, we are able to address them immediately. So at this point in time on the project, the back office, the wayside, and the communications are progressing in accordance with what we need to meet our deliveries. The onboard software, if you recall back in October, and for those board members that weren't with us in October, the onboard software was a major concern because we had a delay in the delivery at that point in time. During the October board meeting, we presented that we would be in revenue service demonstration, and revenue service demonstration is when we actually run the Positive Train Control system on active revenue trains, so trains with passengers. We have been running that since March, and that was in accordance with what we had told you in October. So we actually have several trains running every day with Positive Train Control activated. So you're actually seeing the added safety on at least the parts of the Morristown line as we go, and we will continue to ramp that up over the next several months. The software, in order to not be caught in the situation we were in September, Alstom has implemented a process wherein they are releasing software every 6 weeks, regardless of whether there's actually a need for it or not, just to make sure that we have a scheduled release in case we need it for any anomalies. We did release the software that's required for the next phase of this project, which is extended RSD. The extended RSD means that we move from revenue service demonstration in the portion of the Morristown line that we're doing the beginning RSD to going into other parts of the the railroad, so that would be the full Morristown line and the Montclair Boonton first, and then on to Gladstone and other lines. Revenue service demonstration, the status of revenue service demonstration. We are running that, as I said, every day now, or every weekday, and we have several review sessions at the level of Alstom and Parsons, level of Alstom, Parsons, New Jersey Transit, and WSP, and then there's also regular discussions with the FRA on the progress of the revenue service demonstration. So we're managing that as an expedited urgent situation. We do have 2 items in the revenue service demonstration that we have run into. Both of them, at this point in time, do not point to the onboard software, but point to potential hardware anomalies. One may be specifically with a specific train. We're pulling that train out of service and doing a full review of the train, and also doing a hardware review in general. And the other has to do with, a radio, and we should, by the end of this week, be able to debug both of those items and have them resolved. We expect by the first part of June, by June 9th, to be in what I said was the extended revenue service demonstration. The importance of the revenue service demonstration and the extended revenue service demonstration is that we have to, as a group, submit a safety plan to the Federal Railroad Administration not later than the end of June in order for them to get the 6 months they need to review that and be able to certify the railroad. The revenue service demonstration and the lead up to the extended revenue service demonstration do play a part in that safety plan. There is also a very large piece of that safety plan, which is the engineering piece, the hazard analysis, the mean time between hazardous failure logs. That documentation has been submitted to New Jersey Transit for New Jersey Transit to incorporate into the final plan, which is a New Jersey Transit plan. But that was supposed to be delivered at the end of March, and it was delivered on March 30th to New Jersey Transit. We still have to complete the 384 consecutive runs. We still have, we are not blocked from being able to do that. We expect to have that done by the 1st of June. We expect that we will be able to notify the FRA that we will go into extended RSD not later than June 9th. And we expect that we can submit at that point in time the safety plan by June 9th. Last time we were with you, we said that we were going to release software on November 19th, leading to revenue service demonstration on March 2020, or November 2019, leading to revenue service demonstration on March 2020, leading to the safety plan on June 2020, and then 6 months later, not later than 31st of December 2020, getting the safety certification we need. We did miss the November 2019 date by a few weeks. We actually delivered the software in December of 2019. The good news is, with the efforts and strong dedication of the team, we were able to recover all of that time and still be able to enter revenue service demonstration by March 2020, and we still expect to have a safety plan out in June of 2020. A quick discussion on COVID-19. We have had some minor impacts as a result of COVID-19. I'll get into a few specifics when I talk about our resources. But at this point in time, we don't anticipate any delays to the end date from COVID-19. We haven't had any impacts that we cannot at this point in time recover from, and we also do not expect any relief from Congress for the December 31st, 2020 date. So we are driving full steam ahead to assure that we meet that December 31st, 2020 date. The things that we're doing to ensure that we're going to meet that date. We at Parsons are regularly having to reassess and augment our test staff, largely because of, at this point in time, COVID-19. We have added 11 resources, but we have 4 of those resources who are right now quarantined at home or quarantined in place that cannot support the testing. We have a couple of other resources that have left the company. So net, we had 11 resources added, and we've lost 4 to COVID. We expect those COVID resources are continuing to add benefit to the project because we're utilizing them to accelerate test documentation, so that we can get that uploaded to the FRA more quickly. Parsons has also added a troubleshooting desk, a specific person to manage all of the day-to-day inputs and outputs coming from not only the field testing that continues, but also the revenue service demonstration. Also, we've set up between ourselves and New Jersey Transit additional working group. On the Alstom side, the Alstom team did an incredibly good job of preparing for the COVID-19 impact at the Rochester site. They have set up their test lab so that they can continue to develop and test software without having to have people in their facility. And they have continued to add test resources and resources for upgrades of trains, software upgrades, and any warranty efforts that are needed. Jointly, the team between Alstom, Parsons, and New Jersey Transit are regularly meeting, again, daily, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, to assure that we have the resources we need to support the trains that we have. There are occasional situations where we aren't able to fully meet that, but we are working as a dedicated team to minimize any impacts, like I said earlier. The other thing that the team has done is they have taken the various procedures from New Jersey, from the 2 corporations, and created detailed protocols for how we're operating on the trains to assure that we have safe social distancing, and that we protect the crews that are out in the field doing the work day to day from any potential contact with COVID. New Jersey Transit is expanding their testing to include daytime testing and looking at other opportunities as their revenue service has been pared back as a result of COVID. We're looking at being able to continually staff and take advantage of that to increase our test capabilities. We are also staying in very close contact with the Federal Railroad Administration, and that's at all levels. Clearly, the guys in the field are talking to the Federal Railroad Administration regularly, and that goes all the way up to President Corbett and Administrator Vittori also talk regularly regarding this project. So there is close coordination between the Federal Railroad Administration and the project. And again, we're continuing to adjust our resources and assess the needs of the resource. That's the extent of the status that I have for you. If there's any questions.
This is Board Member Fulton.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for that. Very, very comprehensive. I guess I have one question and then a comment, and you touched on it. There's been a lot of discussion about the ability to continue, if not accelerate, capital work during the pandemic. And with regard to revenue service demonstration, it sort of hinges on trains running. And so with the reduced schedule, I guess I'm looking for a little bit more clarity on, does reduced schedule provide really an opportunity to accelerate? It sounded as if you were saying that we're making an effort to do some of the revenue service demonstration testing on trains during the day, perhaps where we otherwise would not have. So, I guess, do you understand my question?
Yes, sir, I do.
Bill?
Yes, sir.
Bill? Because I have Ray here with me as well. Cedric, I think one's a sort of background notice, and I'll let Ray talk the actual scheduling of trains, what it does. But, traditionally we've been doing all our testing at nighttime, and the idea was as we rolled in RSD that we'd only do it on the fringe. You do a few trains, because in case it didn't work, there were glitches you didn't want to have in the middle of rush hour, have a train, go into a false stop when it didn't need to, just because not reading the signal right. So that those were being done, in the late night trains. We have with the schedule now, we're able to do that into trains in the daytime. But I think Ray Kenny's here, and he can talk to how he's operationally how he's able to accommodate that.
Yeah, and this is Ray Kenny. I'm the Senior VP of Rail, and Board Member Cedric, you are correct in the sense that the new schedule does operate fewer trains. To overcome that, as the schedule stays in effect longer, we are going to put the software onto different types of equipment. That way, we can increase the number of trains that go through the test area that can be an RSD.
So just to clarify, we think we're going to see an incremental number of train movements for testing purposes as a result of COVID?
Yes. Well, in terms of RSD, yes. In terms of other testing, we have a lot more flexibility. In terms of RSD, as soon as we equip these other locomotives, we'll be able to increase the RSD testing.
Thank you. And I guess my last point was really a comment. I think this was very thorough, and I for one would like to hear this every month if we could.
Yeah, certainly. I'll take the lead from Diane on the agenda, but certainly we're prepared. I think the next few months, as you could see from Bill's verbal presentation, is really going to be the critical. May, June, July are going to be the real critical months.
Okay, thank you.
Cedric, it's Diane.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm certainly happy to have Kevin give us an update, or Ray give us an update every month, and maybe have Parsons come every other month, if that's okay with you. Yep. I don't know how much will change every 30 days, but I think that the staff can do it every month, and Parsons can come every other month, if that makes sense to you. I had not seen this presentation before this morning, so I'm glad it was done. So I'll leave it in Kevin's hands, but I think it's April. So what if we anticipate a June presentation from Parsons, and again in August, and every other month until we get through PTC? Does that sound fair?
It does. Mid-month June is. I'm looking for the date here. I think June 9th that we're looking to submit something to the. We need to conclude 384 consecutive runs by the 1st of June. And then I guess we needed to submit the safety plan by June 9th. So
would you like that? So we'll have them, so let's do this, Cedric, then let's have them come back in May. Parsons can come back in May and tell us how they're doing towards those 2 dates. And then after that, we'll go every other month.
That sounds great. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thanks. If that's all on that. To wrap up, like one other sort of general observation is to urge all New Jerseyans to complete and submit their census form, whether electronically or through the Postal Service. I think, as we all know, the future of federal funding, which is so critical to New Jersey in so many ways, particularly us at Transit, those decisions are based on the results of the census form and that everyone's been getting in their mailboxes. So, can only urge, please fill out the forms and help ensure that New Jersey, and by extension New Jersey Transit, gets all the resources we need and they're entitled to, so that we can deliver the quality of service that our customers deserve. And with that, Diana, I conclude my remarks and turn the floor back to you.
Joyce, do we have public comment today?
Yes, we do. We have 22 speakers. I just want to take a moment to remind everyone, if you are not speaking, please mute your phone to avoid hearing background noise. Speakers, in order to give everyone an opportunity to be heard, comments will be limited to 3 minutes. When I call your name, please state and spell your name for the record. The first speaker is Andrew Pollack. Is Andrew Pollack on the line? We'll go to the next speaker, Randy Glucksman.
Good morning, Randy Glucksman, Glucksman. Good morning. It has been several months since I attended a board meeting, and I want to extend a welcome to the new board members and wish you success in this position. I'm Randy Glucksman, chair of the Metro North Railroad Commuter Council, one of 3 councils that informed the MTA about commuter issues, and I represent them as an MTA board member. Although I have been unable to ride NJ Transit lately due to the stay-at-home requirements, I want to express my thanks to all the employees who report to work each day and keep the service running. The following was written prior to the PTC report, which was just delivered, and adds credibility to the lack of transparency. Updated and detailed information must be on your website. It was, however, refreshing to hear a discussion of this topic. With everything else that is going on, the date that PTC must be fully implemented remains December 30th, 2020. Even early last year, even though the MTA had been reporting this PTC status of our 2 railroads each month, the Long Island Railroad Metro North Committee became very concerned that due to some missteps by our contractors, attaining full compliance would be in jeopardy. The committee voted to do something that was unprecedented. We requested those contractors attend the following month's meeting and be prepared to answer questions and also to provide specific details of what they plan to do to get the project back on schedule. These contractors attended additional committee meetings and even a full board meeting in the ensuing months. In July, several members of this committee, the presidents of both railroads, and their senior staff went to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for an inspection trip of the Siemens and Bombardier facilities. What we saw was enlightening, and I came away with the sense that they would comply with all the contractual requirements. So throughout this process and continuing to the present, there's been complete transparency with full press coverage. Over the past year, I have shown your board examples of the monthly PTC reports that appear in our monthly committee agenda books as a show and tell on my iPad. These reports are also available on the MTA website. We will be receiving updated information at our now virtual PTC working group meeting this Thursday, but as of last month, we were running in full PTC mode on 68% of Metro North and 72% of the Long Island Railroad. I sincerely hope that you are taking advantage of the opportunities afforded to you with the reduced schedules that are in effect now to maximize this time productively by operating PTC test trains and completing all the necessary work. I'm in total agreement with a number of my fellow advocates who have complained about the lack of transparency at this agency with regard to keeping everyone informed about this very important project. In conclusion, the public needs to know exactly where you stand with PTC testing and what the change by the end of 2020. I thank you for the opportunity to speaking with you.
Thank you. Speakers, you may need to hit *6 on your phone to unmute yourself. I'll again ask for Andrew Pollack. Is he on the line? The next speaker is Paula Rogovin. Paula, are you on the line? Paula, I think you need to hit *6 to unmute your telephone.
To ban unsafe oil trains. I'm from Teaneck, New Jersey. I'm on the line.
Thank you. You may continue.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you may continue.
Yes. New Jersey, I want to begin by commending Governor Murphy for his handling of the COVID-19 crisis. That's where we need him to continue his focus. But we are concerned that the proposed New Jersey Transit frac gas power plant appears to be moving forward as we're immersed in the COVID-19 crisis. And it's scheduled to be completed by 2020. We're worried about that. The gas air pollution, plant pollution causes and worsens our health, including compromising our immune systems. It gives us respiratory diseases, diabetes, high blood pressure, coronary disease, and other health problems. All of these factors that increase vulnerability to COVID-19, they increase vulnerability and the risk of dying. This COVID community vulnerability map, which I've submitted to you, shows evidence of the particular vulnerability in environmental justice communities in Kearney, Jersey City, Hoboken, and Newark that would get most of the pollution from Governor Murphy's proposed New Jersey Transit frac gas power plant. The governor pledged to protect EJ communities. Bergen, Hudson, and Passaic counties are the epicenter of the pandemic in New Jersey. New Jersey Transit cannot morally approve a gas plant in these communities, in Kearney. While the air is cleaner now with so many cars off the roads and with much of industry shut down, EP regulations on pollution of water and air are being cut back by the Trump administration, and permitting of new fossil fuel infrastructure projects continues throughout the country. You can read about the air quality in North Jersey during COVID crisis in an article which I submitted from the Record newspaper by Scott Fallon. New Jersey Transit must commit instead to creating transportation that will bring a healthier future with renewable energy. But for this moment, the coalition to ban unsafe oil trains and 60 other organizations in Empower New Jersey recently sent a letter to Governor Murphy calling for a halt to the permitting process during this crisis until the time the public can participate fully in the process. We need you, the New Jersey Transit Board members, to join this call for a halt in the permitting and bidding processes, especially for this New Jersey Transit frac gas power plant. We need you to declare in writing, you, New Jersey Transit Board, to declare in writing that you will stop all work on this project so New Jersey Transit can focus on keeping employees and the public safe. And we, the public, can focus on protecting our families and keeping essential workers safe. Thank you very much for your work during this time, and thank you in advance for taking a stand. We hope you will take a stand on this issue. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Paula Rogovin. The next speaker is Sally Geller.
Thank you very much for your work during this time. Thank you in advance for taking a stand.
Hello?
Take a stand on this issue.
Sally, are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
I can, yes.
Okay.
Go ahead, Sally.
I'll do my best to cover everything in 60% of our usual time. I asked the Commissioner that when I have finished speaking, she assures that each speaker will indeed have the full 5 minutes next month. This is in some ways a test run, and we'd like you to scale up to a full meeting next month, even if we're still on the phone. So much has changed since we last met, in person rather than on the phone. We express our appreciation to New Jersey Transit's managers, and especially to frontline employees. We commend you for providing enhanced weekend service for those who must still go to our jobs and run other essential errands. For non-motorists especially, transit is a lifeline. Regarding continued service, the Lackawanna Coalition and the New Jersey Association of Railroad Passengers asked you to mitigate the reduction of service announced on March 20th using an enhanced weekend schedule, and we thank you for your swift response. By the following Monday, you had enhanced it further. We appreciate this development, but we note that to some degree the Montclair-Bruton line was overlooked, as there is still no off-peak and reverse-peak service between Bay Street and Montclair State University. The standard Level 1 severe weather timetable provides service to those interim stations every 2 hours. We requested this 2 weeks ago and now repeat that request. We are very disturbed to see plans to move ahead with a land purchase for for the Portal North project at this time. With the necessary focus on PTC testing and massively decreased revenue, this is no time to make such a purchase, especially to accommodate a project in trouble. New Jersey Transit payments to Amtrak for Portal North Bridge have been disallowed, and we remind you that the stated capacity increase in its application is fiction. The proposed project would add 0 additional peak hour seating capacity into New York Penn Station. 100% of the claimed increases are due to the addition of multi-level cars to the New Jersey Transit fleet, regardless of whether any new bridge is built. So let's look to repair the bridge we have, leaving it closed almost all the time, as the Coast Guard has ordered, and use New Jersey Transit resources for more needed projects. We have been opposed to the microgrid project and the gas plant for a variety of reasons. At this time, we find it particularly inappropriate. To use Sandy resiliency money to expand our dependence on fracked gas technology is ironically counterproductive. For New Jersey Transit to enter an entirely new area of business with a project requiring expensive construction, many employees, particularly now, does not make sense, even if much of the funding comes from the federal government. Let's leave energy generation to the expert utilities and focus New Jersey Transit resources on what you do best, running trains and buses. Much has changed since we last met in Newark. While nobody knows precisely what the long-term effects of the COVID-19 virus epidemic will be, we all know that it will not be good. At best, it will take some time to recover from the damage it will do to our people and our economy. At worst, it could induce an economic catastrophe the like of which have not been seen for almost a century. We must be sure that all board members, new and ongoing, are seriously evaluating every action item on which they vote. As does any board, you have a fiduciary responsibility to the taxpayers of the state, as well as a customer service responsibility to your riders. During this time, our members are requesting that NJ Transit defer any capital spending that is not immediately necessary. PTC installation, yes. Portal North project, no. New Jersey Transit Grid, no.
Sally Geller,
Thank
excuse me. Thank you for your comments. We have to move on to the next speaker. Is Tim Sevener?
My last sentence. Okay.
We have a statement from you. Tim Sevener?
Hello. Yes, this is Tim Sevener. Sevener, Sevener, from the Transit Village of Mount Tabor. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Continue.
Yes, okay. First off, I would like to salute the brave workers of New Jersey Transit for continuing to serve first responders and others to reach their essential destinations in the midst of the pandemic. Public transit is an essential service. In the midst of the COVID-19 virus, which is already taking 90% of cars off the roads as people work from home or stay in social isolation, it is folly to continue planning for more fossil fuel projects like the 24/7, 100-megawatt natural gas plant when there are solar renewable alternatives. Or also, we should not spend $11 billion on major urban road expansions. That's the exits 14 and exits 15 on the New Jersey Turnpike. $11 billion in urban roads, which is essentially a disaster for fossil fuel emissions. We do not yet know the long-term impacts of the social isolation shutdown on future transportation needs. Will people continue to work from home at much higher levels? Will there be a movement back from high-rise New York City to less densely populated, walkable, transit-oriented main streets by New Jersey Transit's many train stations? Support for more distributed development has been a key part of the Regional Plan Authority's first regional plan, just updated in 2019. The pandemic aftermath may accelerate the desire for more main streets, walkable main streets. Public hearings, comments, and plans for such fossil fuel expansion should be put on hold until the pandemic ravaging New Jersey is over, as called for by Don't Gas the Meadowlands and a coalition of 60 environmental, social justice, and transit groups. It is ironic that the COVID-19 shutdown and consequent huge reduction in driving emissions has led to a consequent huge reduction in nitrous oxide and other pollution, which already endangers public health, but further contributes to asthma and respiratory issues, which make COVID-19 more dangerous. Besides the major threat to climate change posed by the 43% of NGA emissions from driving, do we really want to go back to normal pollution levels from driving and fossil fuels once the pandemic is over? We have tried to work with New Jersey Transit to investigate solar renewable rail alternatives to the proposed 100-megawatt natural gas plant. I provided information on solar renewable alternatives to New Jersey Transit, which I sent in a separate email for this meeting. Unfortunately, New Jersey Transit has never had a meeting to review the potential for 187 megawatts or more of solar, tidal, wind, renewable alternatives to a polluting natural gas plant. It is understandable that New Jersey Transit needs to focus all its energies on responding to COVID-19, but that is also why any work to further the natural gas plant should be paused until options are serious.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Sevener. I'm calling the next speaker, Jeffrey Rappaport. Speakers, you may need to hit *6 to unmute your phone.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, well,
Jeffrey,
thank you. And thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it. I'm talking today about the gas-fired power plant. As a father and grandfather, etc., I'm really concerned about it. I know the pandemic is of the utmost importance right now, and Governor Murphy seems to be doing a great job. Still, we should not lose sight or rush to other matters, and carefully consider a pause in the process here, even if it takes more time. I want to encourage New Jersey Transit to include considering renewable energy as it did natural gas options. I'm really vexed why that's not in there. Using natural gas and the accompanying methane emissions during its mining and transportation would contribute to climate change and augment the very problems Sandy brought about, as well as the health problems previously mentioned. To the best of our knowledge, New Jersey Transit has not included renewable energy provisions, only natural gas as bidders. New Jersey Transit should not approve another gas plant in my community without openly showing it has done everything possible to utilize renewable energy. We need a complete study of options, all of them. Renewable energy is clean, healthy, and incredibly economic now. The topic is of sufficient importance to merit a thorough and very highly transparent review. What you do here is important. It has an impact on my children, my grandchildren, yours, the state, what may happen to the Jersey Shore, all sorts of things. So please take this seriously. I know you do, but look at renewables seriously. And thank you for doing everything you do. I know it's not an easy job. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Norm Suteria, and following Mr. Suteria is Richard Grant. Norm Suteria?
Yes. Hi, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. Norm Suteria, S as in Sam, Utaria. Good morning, Madam Chair, President Corbett, New Jersey Transit Board members, and fellow members of the public on the line. As we've heard repeatedly, it's been an incredible month, and I would like to especially thank President Corbett, the entire board, and every single one of the nearly 11,000 New Jersey Transit employees for maintaining service and cleanliness throughout this entire arduous ordeal and, importantly, into the foreseeable future. Securing the $1.25+ billion in funding from the COVID-19 Stimulus Act will save our transit system and, by virtue of moving people, our state's economy. I echo President Corbett's gratitude to New Jersey's congressional delegation. Thank you for advocating for us. New Jersey's transit, as many of you know, and as other speakers have alluded to, is a lifeline for many people, including me and my spouse. The robust, multi-layered, and flexible transit system allows us to support our household while maintaining a high quality of life. And COVID-19 has really brought into relief the perspective of, possibly losing a lifeline versus things that are much, just reframed in many ways. I'm incredibly grateful, especially to you, President Corbett, for your leadership as you work to save our transit system. And I don't only represent me, however. I speak for essential workers at all levels, many of whom are working right now, from grocery clerks to surgeons, who utilize New Jersey Transit daily during this hard and sudden transition to our new normal. We collectively are grateful and are incredibly thankful that service is still intact, even at reduced levels. And I'm sure problems, minor problems like the one that was mentioned between Bay Street and Montclair State University, that could be augmented by, layering buses or having bus service. Those are things that could be worked out. We also appreciate New Jersey Transit Police Chief Trinquillo's and New Jersey Transit's OEM office for leading the COVID-19 task force, and more importantly, leading the TEACS training and the push to have that done before this crisis. As anyone who's been in emergency management, they know, and I know, that this is the gold standard of emergency management training. So I just wanted to pass along my kudos to everybody at the New Jersey Transit Police Department and New Jersey Transit's Office of Emergency Management. And finally, New Jersey Transit's proper preparation has resulted in positive performance. Please keep up the good work, rest when needed, and know that my spouse and I appreciate your work and efforts now more than ever. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Norm Tataria. The next speaker is Richard Grant, followed by Paul Tashima. Richard Grant.
My name is Richard Grant, G-R-A-N-T. In these difficult times, thank you. Again, events are reminding our society that we can never be complacent or unprepared to respond to multiple present threats like the coronavirus and climate change at the same time. My comment is intended particularly for the newer board members. Yes, the New Jersey Transit Grid project would make the region's critical transportation infrastructure more resilient during natural disasters, but it is absolutely necessary to swap out its gas-fired power plant component for renewable energy source power generation. When Governor Christie and then U.S. Energy Secretary Moniz announced the Transit Grid project on August 26, 2013 at the Secaucus train station, it was not widely recognized and understood that natural gas is not clean and is not an effective bridge fuel to replace coal-fired power for an undetermined time. The reason is that, although the combustion of natural gas emits less carbon dioxide than coal, natural gas is primarily composed of methane, and methane is a greenhouse gas with a global warming potential that is multiple times greater than carbon dioxide in a 20-year time frame. Methane is emitted into the atmosphere from leaks when natural gas is extracted, when it's processed, when it's transported, when it's stored, and when it's burned. For one study, researchers were able to quantify the amount of methane leaking from gas-fired power plants by gathering data in flights through stacked emission plumes. Governor Murphy's goal to achieve 100% clean energy is set out in the latest Energy Master Plan. One overriding strategy is to reduce the building sector's energy consumption and emissions. With 75% of New Jersey residents currently heated with natural gas, the state is planning to start the transition away from natural gas, oil, and propane to an electrified building sector. Another overarching strategy is to reduce the transportation sector's energy consumption and emissions, and here New Jersey Transit has been assigned a major role. This includes maximizing ridership, incorporating electric and alternative fuel vehicles into its bus fleet, and reducing emissions in its locomotive fleets as means of reducing private vehicle miles traveled, emissions, air pollutants, and energy consumption. Only one action would run counter to the strategies for achieving Governor Murphy's 100% clean energy goal and would undermine New Jersey Transit's efforts and use of our tax dollars to improve its environmental performance. That would be New Jersey Transit going ahead with the construction of a gas-fired power plant that could be operating for 3 or more decades. 7 years after the New Jersey Transit Grid project was first proposed. This innovative and still first of its kind microgrid project to make a transit system resilient could be a model for states and nations that are in many different stages of transitioning away from methane-emitting natural gas. In October, Governor Murphy realized that it...
Mr. Grant, excuse me, thank you for your comments, but we need to move on to the next speaker. The next speaker is Paul Tashima, followed by William Ritzler. Paul Tashima.
Hi, this is Paul. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Great. My last name is spelled T-E-S-H-I-M-A. New Jersey Transit, as a state agency, works for all the citizens of the state. By building a gas-fired power plant, which will be a constant source of air pollution, you'll be hurting more New Jersey citizens than you'll be helping, because the benefit of a few days of needed backup power will be vastly overshadowed by the pollution that this plant will contribute every day to the local air quality and to the climate change that's hurting our society. Kearney and the surrounding area is already suffering from high levels of air pollution, and the citizens there have a higher than average rates of pollution-caused healthcare problems. Globally, it's all too apparent that our planet is under severe stress. Unprecedented wildfires in California and Australia, sunny day flooding in many coastal communities, frequent storms of 100-year intensity are all signs that our sacred planet is straining against the pollution we have produced, and these changes threaten New Jersey Transit operations also. Why risk more calamity by building this fossil fuel burning power plant? Even if you're not convinced that climate change is caused by humans, it would certainly be prudent to take a conservative course and stay away from actions that risk making the problems worse. The current corona crisis is a taste of what worldwide problems can do to everyone's way of life.
Right.
Climate chaos could be worse long-term than corona is. Pandemics, like the one the world suffered through in 1918, are usually terrible for about a year. The climate crisis, caused by burning hydrocarbons that took the Earth millions of years to produce, could cause a century-long worldwide problem. You may be getting federal money to build this plant, but you're risking New Jersey Transit's future financial stability. Recently, proposed fossil fuel power plants have been canceled when the projected future economics were studied more carefully. Clean renewables are already cost competitive and getting cheaper. As environmental change becomes more apparent, people are turning away from wanting energy produced in a way that harms the Earth. Will you get federal money to bail out when your higher-priced dirty power won't sell in the future? This plant would be a money loser that drains your already tight budget. New Jersey has the best offshore wind resources in the country. Once that's developed, you won't be able to compete with that clean, cheaper power. And again, you'll be straying away from your core mission of transit. Please choose a backup power system that uses clean, renewable energy and doesn't risk the health of New Jersey citizens or your own budget. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is William Ritzler, followed by Ken Dolsky. William Ritzler.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you. Please continue.
Thank you. Yes. William Ritzler, or I-T-Z-L-E-R. I'm Vice President of the Delaware Valley Association of Rail Passengers. The text of this statement has been sent via email to public speaker at newjerseytransit.com. Standing at the public speaker's podium in February 2019, I criticized New Jersey Transit about the Atlantic City rail line service suspension. Today, I would like to commend New Jersey Transit and all associated leaders within the state of New Jersey for the utilization of live online streaming and conference call technologies during the April 2020 New Jersey Transit Board meeting. Building upon the recent experience of the South Jersey Transportation Authority public hearings concerning the proposed capital project plan and associated toll adjustment, the Delaware Valley Association of Rail Passengers believes that the implementation of remote access options for public agency meetings represents an exciting and important era for increased citizen participation in government affairs. The Delaware Valley Association of Rail Passengers requests that New Jersey Transit continue to provide remote access options beyond the pandemic duration as a permanent method of meeting conduct. Public transit customers and citizens of the state of New Jersey provide funding to support agency operations and capital projects. Retaining remote access options for meetings will greatly enhance feedback and input on public priorities and perspectives. We would also like to thank New Jersey Transit employees in customer-facing positions that potentially expose them to COVID-19 infection. Their dedication to providing service in the face of possible safety issues is commendable. New Jersey Transit should take any and all reasonable measures to ensure that New Jersey Transit staff safety is job number one. And a few extemporaneous comments. This last point has been driven home to us in the Delaware Valley region by reports in the Philadelphia media that a second SEPTA employee has passed away as a result of COVID-19 exposure. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Ritzler. The next speaker is Ken Dolsky, followed by Ted Gleck. Ken Dolsky.
This is Ken Dolsky. Can you hear me?
Thank you. Yes, I can. Please continue.
Yes. It's Ken Dolsky, D-O-L-S-K-Y. The Don't Gas the Meadowlands Coalition is asking New Jersey Transit to stop working on the New Jersey Transit Grid microgrid gas power plant while the COVID-19 pandemic prevents you from working on the renewable energy solution to this project, which you have told our coalition is the situation. We understand the COVID-19 emergency, but this should not prevent you from clearly communicating this status to the public. Our coalition ask of NJT is to stop working on the gas plant while unable to work on the renewable energy solution. If you have taken this action, please confirm it in writing. And if New Jersey Transit has not taken this action, please confirm and explain the reasons for not stopping work on the gas plant. NJT has acknowledged it is interested in obtaining alternative energy technology bids. Our work with NJT has demonstrated that while a renewable energy solution is feasible, there are obstacles to renewable energy solutions that are not present with gas plant solutions, including legal and regulatory issues associated with space for solar panels. These are not issues that renewable energy providers can effectively work by themselves, especially as State Historical Preservation Office issues are involved. NJT must participate in this effort before issuing RFPs. By not participating in this effort, NJT is not providing a level playing field for renewable energy solutions. NJT has said that its plan was to issue an RFP in the second or third quarter of 2020. If it sticks to this schedule, it can obtain and qualify gas plant technology bids before qualified and competitive renewable energy bids are available.
If you're not speaking, please mute your telephone.
As a result, we could find ourselves in a post-pandemic world that has already decided to utilize gas technology without even receiving renewable energy bids.
Oh, look at that.
We think the proper long-term approach NJT should adopt is to perform a thorough study of the feasibility of renewable energy and storage technologies as it did with the gas technology solution in 2014. This project will not be built until at least 2022. This is 8 years after its first feasibility study of a technology whose cost-performance ratio has reached the point that the vast majority of gas projects that are on the drawing boards today nationwide have already been outdated by lower renewable energy technology costs. In addition, we are still looking for NJT to take steps that would demonstrate its sincerity regarding obtaining and analyzing fully competitive bids using renewable energy technologies and storage. We have heard many explanations for NJT actions that are based on being fair and even-handed to all bidders. We have yet to see this take place with renewable energy technology bidders. In sum, we do not think it is asking too much of NJT to clarify its position on this issue. That is, to tell us where it stands on whether it's working on the gas power plant project or not, and to consider the long-term impacts of its actions on the towns and residents that it will affect.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Dolsky. Thank you. The next speaker is Ted Glick, followed by Elizabeth Joy. Yes.
Joyce, it's Diane. Could we just say once again, everyone has to mute their phone. We can hear conversations in people's homes or offices going on, and we need to make sure phones are muted, please. Go ahead, Joyce.
Thank you. The next speaker is Ted Glick, followed by Elizabeth Endoy. Ted Glick, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You may continue.
Okay. Ted Glick, G-L-I-C-K. I'm the president of 350 New Jersey. 350.org is an international organization all over the world that's been working for many years to shift our economies away from reliance on fossil fuels, coal, oil, and gas, to renewable energy and energy efficiency, and for really being serious about our connection to the earth and protecting it. I'd like to say first, to underline some of what's already been said, that there are among, fortunately, a shrinking number of people, there's still this illusion that natural gas, which these days is primarily frack gas, that's 70% of all natural gas produced in the United States comes from the process of fracking. It's not a bridge fuel. Natural gas is in no way a bridge fuel. It's more accurately a gangplank. And the primary reason, in terms of bridge fuel to renewables, the primary reason why it's a gangplank is because of leakage of methane, which has been referred to earlier. The reality is that methane, which leaks tremendously throughout the whole process of getting this gas out of the ground and eventually to where it's burned, methane is 86 times more powerful as a greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide. That's according to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. And so for a state with a governor who gets it on the climate crisis and talks about it all the time and is doing some good things, not doing some other things he should be doing, but clearly we are a state that wants to be ahead of the curve in terms of shifting away from fossil fuels. So then for New Jersey Transit to be moving forward now, especially in this pandemic, to build a gas-fired power plant when renewable energy is very much a viable option, battery storage is rapidly coming online as a viable option, it doesn't make sense. I want to just read briefly to underline what I'm saying from a Dr. Faith Birol, who's the executive director of the International Energy Agency. It's been around for 50 years. Just a few sentences from what he said in an article. Put clean energy at the heart of stimulus plans to counter the coronavirus crisis. Perfectly fine. Here's just a few sentences. The impact of the coronavirus around the world and the resulting turmoil in global markets are dominating global attention. As governments respond to these crises, they must not lose sight of a major challenge of our time, clean energy transition. There's large-scale investment to boost the development, deployment, and integration of clean energy technologies should be central right now. And the ones he lists are solar, wind, hydrogen, batteries, and carbon capture. So please do the right thing, NJ Transit Board, and help us make absolutely essential transition. A lot of jobs are created by renewable energy, too. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Glick. The next speaker is Elizabeth Endoy, followed by Jeff Tittle. Elizabeth Endoy.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
You may continue. Elizabeth Endoy.
Good morning. Yes, good morning. My name is Elizabeth Endoy, spelled N as in Nancy, D as in David, O-Y-E. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. I am a resident of Hoboken. And I'm speaking to you today, as many others have, to ask that you reconsider approving construction of the proposed natural gas power plant in Kearney, New Jersey. While I commend New Jersey Transit for wanting to construct this plant in order to keep trains running during another major weather event like Superstorm Sandy, I object to the need to create another fossil fuel plant in Hudson County. Must New Jersey Transit fuel this plant with natural fracked gas? Must they create a power facility that will emit up to 548,000 cubic tons of CO2 into our air? A plant that will allow methane, the most lethal fossil fuel gas, to leak into our environment. A plant that will disrupt the fragile ecology of our wetlands and the Hackensack River. And a plant that will be built on a toxic waste site in a flood zone. Hoboken, Kearney, East Newark, and Jersey City Heights are only a few miles from this plant. We are communities already stressed by the high amount of toxins in our air. We have not earned the unfortunate nickname Cancer Corridor for no reason. Our citizens are already at high risk for cancer, asthma, and other respiratory disease. The American Lung Association has given Hudson County an F for air quality and quality of life. We have countless numbers of seniors and children who, if exposed to more pollution, will have adversely affected lives. We are also in communities where environmental justice has been repeatedly denied. Members of our community who may be working poor or persons of color would once again be deliberately exposed to chemical poisoning without any recourse. This is downright wrong and completely unethical, particularly in this new age of pandemic. We must protect our vulnerable population from respiratory disease, not endanger them even further. If it is deemed necessary that this plan is essential to our future survival, then I ask that alternative fuel sources be used. Belgium, Australia, and Germany are either already using solar-powered trains or are moving forward to use them. Rather than a natural gas fuel plant, why not a solar battery storage facility? This would be even a better economic investment for you, New Jersey Transit. A recent report from the Rocky Mountain Institute shows that by 2056 it will be more expensive to run 90% of gas plants currently proposed in the U.S. than it would be to build new wind and solar farms equipped with battery storage systems. In closing, I strongly urge you to either reconsider this plan or choose an alternative. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Elizabeth Endoy. We appreciate that. The next speaker is Jeff Tittle, followed by William McClelland. Jeff Tittle. Jeff, are you on the line? William McClelland, are you on the line?
Yes, I'm William McClelland. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You may continue.
Thank you. My name is William McClelland, McClelland. I live in North Bergen and work with Food and Water Watch. I would like to speak about the proposed frack gas power plant being proposed by New Jersey Transit for the Coppers Coke site in Kearney. This plant should never, under any circumstances, be built. Instead of another pollution-spewing power plant, which will add more deadly chemicals like methane to our already degraded air, New Jersey Transit should be pursuing projects which will use renewable energy to provide power to their system. A great deal of information which has come out about the location of the New Jersey Transit plant has been misleading or, in fact, false. For example, last August, the Hudson County executive stated falsely that New Jersey Transit's power plant would be, quote, miles away from the nearest residential property, unquote. In fact, Coppers Coke, where the frack gas power plant would be built, is less than 3/4 of a mile from the Marion Gardens apartments in Jersey City, as well as many other residences in the western part of Jersey City. The site is less than 2 miles from Journal Square, Jersey City Heights, and Lincoln Park. It is barely 2 miles away from Hoboken. Incredibly, it is only 3/4 of a mile away from Hudson County High-Tech High in Secaucus, right across the Hackensack River. Is this what New Jersey Transit considers responsible, building a huge power plant right next to a high school? Other schools are also in close proximity to this site. I would like to ask each and every board member, what if someone came into your town and said that they were going to build a gigantic fracked gas-burning power plant 1,200 yards away from your child's school? What would your neighbors say to you if you approved a plant like this, a plant that would jeopardize the health of your children? Do you think they would ever speak to you again? That is what you are proposing for this area. It is a pure example of environmental discrimination and injustice, and you must withdraw this proposal immediately. As I say, New Jersey Transit must withdraw this disastrous project and work on projects that would utilize renewable energy to power its grid. We are going to fight this project every step of the way. We are not going to allow this section of New Jersey to continue to be treated as a dumping ground for more pollution. Thank you for this opportunity to speak.
Thank you for your comments, William McClelland. The next speaker is David Peter Allen, followed by Barbara Stomber. David Peter Allen.
Thank you, Joyce. David Peter Allen, ALAN. I'm speaking in my personal capacity today. Please do not buy the piece of land for the proposed Portal North Bridge. Circumstances have changed so much this month that the old rules are no longer valid. The purported purpose of the proposed bridge may have been frustrated. The basis for approving it is questionable, and you will probably get a better deal by waiting to see what changes are coming. Many people are working from home these days. After the current restrictions are lifted, it is likely that some commuters will work at home more often, which would reduce demand for peak hour seats into New York Penn Station. This demand will probably fall below the 95% of current seating capacity, which would render the Portal North Bridge project ineligible for a capacity grant under Section 5309. The existing Portal Bridge never opens during peak commuting hours by order of the Coast Guard, so it is no longer a problem for New Jersey Transit's or Amtrak's operations. The Hudson tunnels will be repaired the way the Canarsie tunnels in New York City are being repaired, so there is let's see what happens. Now is surely not the time to rush into any new projects. Even before the virus hit, New Jersey Transit's application for the project was based on outdated and inaccurate numbers. I examined these numbers in detail in an article in Railway Age, posted on their website, railwayage.com, as part 10 of my Gateway series on March 13th. I especially call your attention to the background report entitled, A No Longer Needed Bridge Over No Longer Troubled Waters. I place it on the record as if it were an exhibit. The link is in the written statement I submitted. If you fail to review it, you will be violating your fiduciary duties to New Jersey's train riders and taxpayers by ignoring pertinent facts. This is definitely not the time to buy land for a questionable deal. Your materials did not even disclose the price, so we can be sure that it is too high. If you need land later, you can rent an easement at a far lower cost. I have consulted with Jim Blaze, a colleague from ScatterTAC, our Senior Citizens and Disabled Residents Transportation Advisory Committee, and one of the foremost transportation economists in the nation. He told me that the value of the scrapyard now occupying the property in question could drop by 15 to 20% soon, which means that waiting to buy the land would mean a better deal in the future. It is a time-honored practice for every board to spend money prudently. These times are like the milestones of uncertainty and fear from the last century, in 1918, 1929, and 1941. If you take your fiduciary duty to the transit riders and taxpayers of this state seriously, you will refrain from purchasing that property. Many of you are new to this board. The vote that you are about to take will determine whether you will take your responsibility seriously or you will continue this board's dishonorable tradition as acting strictly as a rubber stamp. And if I have a few more seconds, I would like to personally thank the employees of New Jersey Transit, especially our frontline employees. We need the mobility you provide, and thank you for that.
Thank you for your comments, David Peter Allen. The next speaker is Barbara Stomber, followed by Joseph Clift. Barbara Stomber, are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Can you hear
thank
me?
you. Please continue. Yes, I can. Please continue.
Okay, my name is Barbara Stomber, spelling Stomber. I am a member of Franciscan Response to Fossil Fuels since 2011, an organization based on the teachings of St. Francis, with members in a number of counties in North Jersey, Passaic, Morris, and Bergen counties. I'm also a native of Jersey City, a place that will be severely impacted by the pollution from the New Jersey Transit gas plant. With COVID-19 saturating the airwaves and sequestration becoming the way of life for millions, I could not sit by and let yet another fossil fuel infrastructure project be rammed down our throats, given the fact that so many are sheltering at home amid health and economic concerns and will not be able to respond to the New Jersey Transit gas plant proposal. I would like to go on record that the New Jersey Transit project be stopped until renewable energy is given a seat at the table. That is, the same information that was given to gas plant bidders must be provided to prospective renewable energy bidders in order to perform the feasibility studies required to supply a clean, renewable energy solution for the New Jersey Transit project. While it is a difficult time to talk about the climate in the time of COVID-19, I believe we have to take every opportunity to use this pandemic to underline the importance of climate change, for there are many similarities to draw upon and many lessons to be learned. The coronavirus has shown us that if you deny science and wait until you can see the impact, it is too late to stop it. Some politicians are living and grasping the terrifying power of compounding growth with COVID-19. But that new understanding must apply to an understanding of the exponential growth that is and will continue taking place with the climate due to carbon emissions, primarily fossil fuels. Climate change is unfolding at a slower rate than COVID, but the fix will not be a vaccine in a year and a half. It will take decades of change to slow the effects of climate change. What we have learned from this pandemic is the importance of making people the priority, not the bottom line, listening to global perspectives. That is, we are all in this together and trusting the experts. All of these pandemic tools are equally important when dealing with climate change. With scientists warning we have 10 years to avoid the worst consequences of climate change, are the experts telling us to build new fossil fuel infrastructure projects that will be with us for the next 50 years? I don't think so. So let's set an example in the state of New Jersey. New Jersey is at the top of the charts by state for warming with a 3-degree Fahrenheit temperature increase since 1970, behind Alaska with a 4.2-degree increase. Let's not wait for the worst catastrophic effects of climate change. We have elected a green governor who has led the charge for our state on COVID-19.
Thank you for your comments, Barbara.
Let's have him lead us. Let's have
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Joseph Clift, followed by Christian Knoll. Joseph Clift. Joseph Clift, are you on the line? You may need to hit *6 to unmute your phone.
Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you, yes. Thank you.
Joseph
Please
Clift,
continue.
CLIFT. Good morning, board members. I first want to say a big thank you to Board Secretary Joyce Soucek and her entire team at NJ Transit for all their extra efforts to prepare for this first ever virtual board meeting. Regarding action item 2004-19, approval to acquire a very large 550,000 square foot, 12.7 acre property as part of the Portal North Bridge project, as Cy Sims said over and over again, an educated consumer is our best consumer. And without the detailed facts I'm providing today to back up my ask that you table action item 2004-19, due to insufficient, incorrect, and omitted information, you new members who have absolutely no history with Portal North are flying blind and therefore unable to make an informed decision as required of any prudent individual in a position of public trust. The facts I present today demonstrate the changed circumstances over the 14-year life of this project mean that Portal North should not be built. It does nothing for NJT customers at an unnecessary cost of $1.9 billion to taxpayers and only qualifies for an $811 billion core capacity grant by NJT staff submitting information they know is untruthful and misleading. Selling Portal North in 2020 is only possible, to borrow a phrase, by practicing deception by omission. What has New Jersey Transit staff omitted, forgetting that its primary goal must be to maintain and improve service to NJT's customers at a fair price to taxpayers and not to simply progress capital projects that no longer make sense? Number one, in our new world of COVID-19, fiscal prudence absolutely dictates that all discretionary projects, including Portal North, be put on hold until the financial future becomes clear. Number two, all the claimed peak hour seat increases claimed for Portal North will happen before it ever opens, as NJT replaces the single-level Comets and Arrows with multi-level trailer and power cars. 3, Portal Bridge is no longer a single point of failure now that the Coast Guard has mandated that the bridge be locked closed before and during peak periods in the morning and the evening, making it, for all intents and purposes, a fixed bridge. 4, not a single peak period customer has been delayed by Portal opening since March 15th last year when the new rules went into effect, and virtually no off-peak customers have been delayed since the maritime traffic through Portal has shrunk to virtually zero. And last, number 5, the alternative, a long overdue $40 million overhaul that brings Amtrak's Portal Bridge to a state of good repair, makes perfect sense given the extremely few openings. It will save 98% of the $1.9 billion cost of Portal North while providing the same benefit to all riders. Thank you for this opportunity to comment. Best regards to all. Be safe and be well. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Joseph Clift. The next speaker is Christian Knoll, followed by Leela Charney. Christian Knoll, are you on the line? You may need to hit *6 to unmute your phone. Christian Knoll. Is Leela Charney on the line?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Leela, you may continue.
Thanks so much. I really want to thank New Jersey Transit, particularly the frontline workers, and I want to thank all of almost all of my previous speakers who spoke so eloquently about the importance of developing renewable energy as opposed to continuing the building of the proposed fracked gas power plant. These are perilous times with the pandemic, but we have to learn lessons that the pandemic is teaching us, and it seems that to continue with the building of the power plant would be a destructive path of building another toxic future for us and reinforcing our dependence on damaging fossil fuels. What we've realized already is that with the halt to life as we know it, fewer cars, buses, and trucks on the road, there's been a significant reduction in fossil fuel emissions and already improved air quality. This is both a reprieve and a glimpse of what life could be like at a time where preparedness is something that we have not been doing and we must do, is particularly New Jersey Transit, where mass transit is the life of the future of this planet, and where we really want to reduce the individual cars that are on the road. And renewable energy is the way to do that. New Jersey Transit's mission in protecting the work and health of all of us, the workers and the riding public, is part of really bringing renewable energy to the table. It is the healthier choice for everyone. Our dependence on fossil fuel is a kind of virus that needs to be mitigated, or it will eventually kill us in terms of what it does to the climate. So this is a support of renewable energy. Using renewable energy, it's a support to public health. It's environmentally sound, it's cost-effective, and it promises the expansion of a wide range of new jobs, which will surely be needed when we clear under this pandemic. Once again, we want to consider renewable energy as the path to life-sustaining transportation and sustaining good health, as opposed to destroying life and health for us and for the planet. Thank you all so much for your work and for your consideration, and welcome to the new board members. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Leila Charney. The next speaker is Carol Folan, followed by David Case. Speakers, I want to remind everyone, if you are not speaking, please mute your telephone. Carol Folan, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
I can. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Continue.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm Carol Folan, C-A-R-O-L. Last name is Folan, F as in Frank, O-L-A-N. I live in Wayne, New Jersey. This is my understanding of some of what has been going on and what has not been going on. As far as I know, you have not as yet reached out to any provider of renewable energy solutions to encourage their participation in the solutions to this frack gas power plant project in Kearney of yours, to receive their input or on renewable energy solutions. Given this COVID-19 virus pandemic, this telemeeting we are having cannot possibly be sufficient to get input from all affected municipalities, civic and environmental organizations, and the public in general to be able to participate and evaluate and give proper feedback to New Jersey Transit on this proposed gas power plant issue. Given your current schedule, clean renewable energy bidding will be behind the eight ball for sure with any clean energy renewable bidding and solutions, while you already will be conveniently deciding on using gas technology without even getting the renewable energy bids. Okay? That does not constitute a fair and equal playing field, I don't think, does it? We don't have the renewable energy providers don't have receive the technical information and power requirements. Accessibility to this information is not available due to the pandemic. The project needs to stop if it has not already stopped till this pandemic passes and then can be addressed fairly. The health of the surrounding towns and communities that would be affected by your frack gas power plant and its resulting pollution into the air is inexcusable, I'm afraid. These effects include asthma and other respiratory ailments like COPD, increased blood pressure, hypertension, diabetes, heart disease, increased cancer, etc. Can you imagine people young and old with these underlying conditions getting the COVID-19 virus too? Fatal. The solution is clean renewable energy and not a frack gas power plant that will be obsolete in about 4 or 5 years anyway, as this country has to go to clean renewable energy if we also want to save our planet, which is no small feat. The money that would be spent on this short-term gas power plant would be much better spent on clean renewable energy. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments, Carol Folan. The next speaker is David Case. David, are you on the line?
Yes, I'm on the line. Thank you. David Case, C-A-S-E. I chair the Hudson County group of the New Jersey Sierra Club. I am also a resident of Jersey City Heights, Ward D. I'm also deeply concerned that New Jersey Transit would move forward at this point with the Kearney Power Plant. Yesterday, as some of you may know, our Ward D councilman, Michael Yun, fell victim to the COVID-19 pandemic. Our community is reeling as we mourn Councilman Yun's loss and the loss of many others. It appears that Michael Yun, like many Jersey City residents, had prior respiratory problems. We have lived for generations in the shadow of the Hudson Generating Station coal-fired power plant, the Essex incinerator, and 3 major highways, all within miles of our homes. Now, the Kearney plant would spew its pollution into our windows from about a mile away. Proceeding with a decision to construct a gas-fired plant in Kearney at this time would be a travesty. It is impossible that we can be represented and provide feedback to New Jersey Transit at this time and under these circumstances. Providing the ability to participate in a virtual meeting is not a sufficient tool for obtaining this input, nor a sufficient excuse to continue working on the gas plant option. I don't know what it's like where the various board members live, but here in Jersey City, we now hear sirens 24 hours a day as victims are taken to Christ Hospital and Jersey City Medical Center. New Jersey Transit has not done due diligence in considering sustainable alternatives to a fossil fuel-powered plant. Moreover, if we pause for a moment, we see that the factors and dynamics which have led to and worsened the COVID-19 crisis are exactly the same as those at play in the ongoing climate crisis. These factors: 1, denial of overwhelming scientific evidence; 2, refusal to heed the warnings of experts and scientists telling us we must prepare for a changed future; 3, insistence on lucrative contracts and short-term profits over long-term planning and public well-being. The only differences between the COVID-19 crisis and the climate crisis are these: 1, the climate crisis will play out in years and decades instead of playing out over days and weeks. 2, the climate crisis will not pass like a pandemic. Society will never get back to normal. 3, the suffering, economic devastation, and yes, loss of life will be much worse by many degrees in the climate crisis. We cannot go on with business as usual, giving the usual contracts to the usual parties at this time. We need to move in a progressive direction, and we need to push the pause button on this in the short term. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, David Case. I'll now again ask if Andrew Pollack is on the line. Is Jeff Tittle on the line? Christian Noel on the line? Board members, there are no further speakers. The public comment period has ended. Thank you.
Joyce will now move to committee reports. I'll call on Suzanne Mack to present the advisory committee report.
Suzanne Mack, are you on the line? You may need to hit *6 to unmute. Suzanne Mack?
Joyce, we'll try for her again in a moment. I'll now call on Board Member Wilton, who will present the Operations and Customer Service Committee report.
Thank you, Chair. The Operations and Customer Service Committee received an update on trends, analysis, and actions for rail, bus, light rail, and access link. The committee also received an update on the cost of service and the fall 2019 customer satisfaction survey results. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Board Member Wilton. I'll now call on Board Member Marocco to present the Administration Committee report.
Good morning. Before I give the report, let me just echo President Corbett in expressing my appreciation to all of the staff, and particularly the frontline staff, for their efforts and their service during this time of crisis. Thank you to all of them. The Administrative Committee received a financial update. This included an update on ridership and revenue, cost of service key performance indicators, major balance sheet items, attrition and hires, and real estate and economic development highlights. That concludes my report.
Thank you. I will now call on Board Member Fulton, who will present the Capital Planning Policy and Privatization Committee report.
Thank you, Chair. I too extend my thank you to Kevin and his team for such an extraordinary effort at this time. The Capital Planning, Policy, and Privatization Committee discussed the board items for the contracting out Bergen County local bus service. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Board Member Fulton. I'll now call on Board Member Adams to present the Safety Committee report.
Good morning, and thank you, Chair. And I would also like to thank Kevin and his great New Jersey Transit team for the work they're doing during this unprecedented crisis. Safety Committee discussed the Office of System Safety's activities and the performance indicators for rail, bus, light rail, and Access Link. Additionally, the committee received an update regarding the FTA-required Public Transportation Agency safety plans that will be presented to the board in May. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Board Member Adams. I'll now ask President and CEO Corbett to present the action items.
Thank you, Diane. I'd like now to introduce Eric DeLeo, Senior Vice President of Capital Programs, to present Board Item 2004-19 regarding Portal Bridge. Eric?
President Corbett, we are recommending approval of Item 2004-19, New Jersey Transit Portal North Bridge Project, acquisition of entire fee parcel 118, owner Jana Corporation, relocation of tenant Metal Green Recycling Industries. Authorization is requested to take any and all actions to acquire the property known as Parcel 118, owned by Jana Corporation, located in Kearny, New Jersey, in accordance with the eminent domain law of 1971 for the Portal North Bridge project, not to exceed payment of the amount discussed in executive session and subject to the availability of funds and Federal Transit Administration approval. Further authorization is requested to provide relocation assistance and payments to the property tenant, Metal Green Recycling Industries, in accordance with the Uniform Transportation Housing Replacement and Relocation Act, NJSA 27:7-72, under New Jersey Department of Transportation procedures and regulations that conform to the Federal Uniform Act requirements, not to exceed an amount discussed in executive session and subject to the availability of funds. Further authorization is requested to file condemnation complaints and file a record of declaration of taking and take any and all actions related to exercising New Jersey Transit's power of eminent domain where necessary to acquire Parcel 118 or other parcels for the Portal North Bridge project and deposit the estimated just compensation with the Clerk of the Superior Court so long as New Jersey Transit attempts to acquire these parcels from the property owners through bona fide negotiations as required by the Eminent Domain Act of 1971, NJSA 20:3-1 and sequence, before commencing condemnation proceedings where necessary. Authorization of this real estate acquisition is a necessary step in allowing construction to move forward in replacing the Portal Bridge with a new Portal Bridge. The new structure will eliminate current interruptions in rail operations and delays due to mechanical failures with the movable span, and the new Portal Bridge will allow for a 10% increase in peak hour passenger capacity. We ask for your approval of Item 2004-19.
May I have a motion to approve?
Board Member Fulton, motion.
May I have a second?
Board Member Wilson, second.
Is there any discussion on this item?
If I may, Chair, this is Board Member Fulton.
Yes, of course.
Okay, with regard to the bridge project in itself, it strikes me that making the Northeast Corridor as resilient as we possibly can needs to be of the highest priority. We know it's important from a regional national perspective, has been depicted by the issues associated with the tunnel. The discussions of making the Northeast Corridor as resilient as possible has been a topic of discussion for practically decades. It's my thought we shouldn't miss an opportunity to make sure the bridge is safe and reliable for decades to come. And I guess in the end, and largely because of my experience with the Bayonne Bridge, and none of us have crystal balls, I think any opportunity that we get to eliminate conflicts between transportation modes, in this case maritime and train, I strongly believe we should take the opportunity. I learned it dealing with that issue directly as there was conflict between the maritime and over-the-road mode, and we learned. Although it was something that was discussed for decades, action was never taken. We should not miss this opportunity to eliminate the conflict. Thank you.
May I have a motion to approve? Board Member Wilson, second. Board Member Wilson, motion. May I have a second?
Board Member Fulton, motion.
Board Member Wilson, second. 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 Board Member Wilson, second.
Joyce?
Thank you, Board Member Fulton. Is there any other comments at this time?
Joyce, it's Bob Gordon.
Yes.
I would add that after the Gateway Tunnel project, the Portal Bridge is probably the most important infrastructure project in the country, certainly in the Northeast. It's the choke point of the Northeast corridor and needs to be a priority for us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other board members who wish to comment? The only thing that I would add then is I believe that the Portal North Bridge project is only one phase of a much larger Gateway plan, and that when they all come together, as I think Board Member Fulton said very eloquently, it will be the resiliency of the Northeast corridor generally. And so with that, Joyce, I would ask to take a motion, take a vote.
Roll call vote. Board Member Adams?
Yes.
Board Member Ajmani? Board Member Ajmani? Board Member Doshi?
Yes.
Board Member Fulton?
Yes.
Board Member Marocco?
Yes.
Board Member Wilton?
Yes.
Chair Gutierrez Cacchetti?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. We'll move on now to the next item, Kevin.
Yeah, I'd now like to introduce Bill Vaccaro, Senior Vice President and Chief Financial Officer and Treasurer, to present Board Item 2004-20 regarding our prescription drug health and welfare benefits. Bill?
Thank you, Kevin. We are recommending approval of Item 2004-20, Expanded Prescription Drug Health and Welfare Benefits Program. Authorization is requested to enter the Express Scripts, Inc. Save-On SP program beginning May 1st, 2020, or as soon as administratively practical, for the remaining base contract period of 2 years and 2 months, with 2 one-year renewal options, with administrative program fees not to exceed 25% of the actual reduction in claims fees, with a maximum amount allowed of $400,000 based on the scope of services subject to the availability of funds. We ask for your approval of Item 2004-20.
May I have a motion?
Motion.
So moved, Board Member Wilson.
May I have a second, please?
Board Member second.
Is there any discussion on this item? Joyce, roll call vote, please.
Roll call vote. Board Member Adams?
Yes.
Board Member Ajmani? Board Member Ajmani? Board Member Doshi?
Yes.
Board Member Fulton?
Yes.
Board Member Marocco?
Yes.
Board Member Wilton?
Yes.
Chair Gutierrez Cacchetti?
Yes.
Motion carried. Board members' recusal. Board members Rasmussen and Greaves are recused from the next item, 2004-21. Board members Rasmussen and Greaves, please disconnect your phones.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, guys. Good work.
Thank you.
Kevin, please continue.
Yes, Diana. Now, for the last item for action today, I'd like to introduce Ron Nichols, Chief of Light Rail and Contract Services, to present Board Item 2004-21 regarding the contracting out of the Bergen County local bus service. Ron?
Thank you, Kevin. We are recommending approval of Item 2004-21, contracting out Bergen County local bus service. Authorization is requested to enter into a contract with Community Transportation Incorporated, a Coach USA company of Paramus, New Jersey, to operate the Bergen County local bus service for a 36-month base contract period of May 3rd, 2020 through May 6, 2023, at a cost not to exceed $27,706,094 plus 5% for contingencies, for a total contract authorization of $29,106,000 $92,249, subject to availability of funds and board approval of New Jersey Transit's operating budget. Further authorization is requested to exercise the options to the contract with Community Transportation Incorporated, a Coach USA company of Paramus, New Jersey, to operate the Bergen County local bus service for 2 separate 24-month option periods to be exercised at New Jersey Transit's discretion beginning May 7th, 2023 through May 3rd, 2025 at a cost not to exceed $19,847,697 and May 4th, 2025 through May 8th, 2027 at a cost not to exceed $21,338,647 for a combined cost of $41,186,344 plus 5% for contingencies for a total authorization of $43,245,661 subject to availability of funds and board approval of New Jersey Transit operating budget. We ask your approval of item 2004-21.
May I have a motion, please?
Yeah, great.
May I have a motion?
Moved by Board Member Wilton. Board Member Wilton moves the matter.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Fulton.
Roll call.
Discussion on that matter? Hearing none, Joyce, take roll.
Roll call vote. Board Member Adams?
Yes.
Board Member Ajmani? Board Member Doshi?
Yes.
Board Member Fulton?
Yes.
Board Member Marocco?
Yes.
Board Member Wilton?
Yes.
Chair Gutierrez Cachetti?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Before we adjourn to executive session, I want to let the public know we will return to the meeting, but no additional business will be conducted. May I have a motion to enter into executive session to discuss personnel matters, contract negotiations, the status of pending and anticipated litigation, and matters falling within the attorney-client privilege, including but not limited to the personal injury claim of Terry Mayer. May I have a motion to enter into executive session?
Board Member
Wilton moves the motion.
May I have a second?
Second. Sounds like a Chair.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Joyce, will you call roll?
Roll call vote. Board Member Adams?
Yes.
Board Member Ajmani? Board Member Doshi?
Yes.
Board Member Fulton?
Yes.
Board Member Marocco?
Yes.
Board Member Wilton?
Yes.
Chair Gutierrez Cachetti?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Joyce?
Yes.
Joyce, I'm going to need about 5 minutes before I can hop back the open session of the board meeting. Joyce, please take roll call.
Roll call. Board Member Adams?
Yes.
Board Member Wilton?
Yes.
Board Member Doshi?
Yes.
Board Member Fulton?
Here.
Board Member Marocco?
Here.
And Chair Gutierrez Cachetti?
Here.
Thank you. For the record, board members Ajmani, Gordon, Greaves, and Rasmussen are absent at this portion of the meeting.
Thank you, Joyce. Since there is no further business, may I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
May I have a second?
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.